Well, greetings from Just Car People Things. We bought a truck. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. We already had a truck, but we bought another one. So the other day, a couple days ago, ran to Home Depot. We're doing a little building project inside the house. And, you know, I was driving back from Home Depot with our GX460, which is parked outside right now. And, of course, had 8 or 10 2x4s and cut down pieces of plywood and just a whole bunch of different junk in the back of the GX. And, you know, it came all the way through to the front, all the way up next to us while we were there. And I got down, I sat down in the car, you know, kind of fighting with the gear shift underneath all the 2x4s lined up there. And I looked straight at my spouse and said, you know what? I really wish I had a pickup truck. I've been doing all this work on the house and we don't have anything practical. And, you know, it's talk about a sign from the above. We got diverted off the highway because they've been working on the highway out near our house and took the back roads home. And literally right around the corner, if you went out on this main road and you drove, you know, about 100 yards, 200 yards to a stoplight, took a left and went about a quarter mile, this was sitting right there. And this is a 2004 Toyota Tundra. And it's in dark green. It needs a little bit of love. It's got 213,000 miles on it, but the owner was pretty mechanically inclined. He did a timing belt, water pump, and radiator at 190,000 miles. It's had new spark plugs. It's definitely sort of mechanically been a pretty well-kept vehicle. It's got this nice ranch topper on it, which I really like. It's nice. It gives it a really sharp look all in. And we're going to do a little video series about this truck. This is going to be a little bit of a project for us. It does have some needs. You know, it's not perfect. Kind of the saddest story is it's a really clean body other than the stone chips, except at one point I was told by the previous owner that it was hit by a dumpster, that a dumpster rolled down a little hill and rolled into it and did some damage right here. And the kind of the two prongs of the dumpster out on the side, the wings, caught it right there and did some damage. So we're gonna go through a process too and touch this up, you know, kind of sand this down, and we're not gonna build it back up or try to repair anything, but we at least want to cover that rust with a little bit of paint just to keep it from continuing to deteriorate. We'll do some touch up on the body as well here and there, and you know, really kind of take good care of it. And you know, is it perfect? No, but you know, you spend a reasonable amount of money. You don't want to spend a fortune, and you know, it's kind of all here. Nothing's mint, but everything is here, and that's kind of a big thing. So, you know, I'll give you an example. It's got some kind of rough floor mats in it, and what we'll probably do is we'll ditch these floor mats altogether, and we'll go to like a WeatherTech type floor mat. You know, it's got some dirt and some you know, clearly years of use. It's not a low mileage vehicle, but overall, it's in pretty decent shape. This is the Access Cab Tundra. They make a double cab, which has two, much like a modern crew cab pickup, has another door handle here and is, you know, probably about yay longer. But this guy swings open this way, and then this lever here allows you to index the seat upwards for a little bit more room in the back. So these are very much kind of a jump seat configuration. You know, they're going to be handy. I'm stretched pretty far back here. I'm a little taller, but you know, if you were to pull the seat forward a few clicks, you know, a grown adult could definitely sit back there. It's never really going to be incredibly comfortable, but you know, it's workable. The other thing I'll mention about this is you got these kind of cool storage compartments that they open here from one way or another, that way, and these lift out. And you've got your floor jack in there, and, you know, a dead stink bug, and, you know, just kind of the usual things you get in a nice used car. But you know, I'm excited about it. I'm excited to have it. I had been up until recently driving my 1LE Camaro right here. Ta-da! Driving the 1LE. We're gonna wash it in about 5 minutes here. It's filthy. Every day, and this year I've done about 15,000 miles on it between having snow tires and the summer tires on it. And honestly, it's just kind of reaching the point where I feel like I'm driving it a little bit too much. It's not always the easiest I have a really long highway commute, and so I was just kind of looking for something that could kind of knock down the highway at 70-75 miles an hour and be comfortable and be reliable and check every box. So I'll mention a few things beyond just first impressions physically that you should always look for when you look at a Toyota Tundra or any vintage Toyota truck for that matter. This vehicle is now nearly 20 years old. It's 18 years old. And there are some things about it that you're gonna notice, you know, beyond just, hey, it's got a little scratch or dent here, you know. It's got a nice trailer hitch on it. These will tow, I think, like 6,000 pounds. You know, the guy clearly took a little time, put a little wax on it, but didn't do an incredibly great job. He just had it parked in front of his house. In fact, it was parked right next to his other Toyota Tundra. He had 4 of these. So, you know, one thing we'll do is we'll polish the paint. We'll get in here. A lot of contamination on this paint. You can just see it's been sitting outside. You can kind of see that contamination that's built up on it. We'll probably do a clay bar on it. We'll probably do a little bit of a tear down. I'm gonna pull the bed cap off at some point, and you can see under the bed cap there's some rust starting here. Oftentimes that's from the weight of the bed cap resting on that plastic, and it, you know, kind of rubs together. You'll see things like the door handles will fade, stuff like that. And I can tell you, he parked this outside, and this was the side of the car that got the sun. And I can tell you it because I can see the oxidation forming here. You can see the damage to the plastic handles. And you can see this is a piece of like clear bra to protect this. And this is starting to deteriorate. On the other side, it looks brand new. So, you know, just something to be aware of. It's an older truck. The guy had newer vehicles. He parked them in his garage. This sat outside. In many ways, might have actually been a good thing because the heat sometimes in a heated garage can accelerate rust and other issues with an older vehicle. The tires are in pretty good shape. It's got I'd say they got another season left on them. They're nice Sumitomo name brand tire. You always want to watch out for stuff from China. Be wary of that. The other thing, I noticed it's got a little wheel balance issue. It's got some older wheel weights on it. And these wheels are really starting to deteriorate just in terms of this finish on here. And you can see, you know, like right over here, you know, this is road salt, right? That's chewing, and just over time, you're going to lose bits of the wheel. So we're going to pull these wheels. We're actually going to scuff sand them, and we'll spray paint them, and probably just kind of show you that process as well. That takes about a day or 2 days to do all in. You know, one thing that I'll mention about a Toyota truck is never, ever, ever go look at one without a flashlight, because you're going to want to get underneath it, and you're going to want to take a really good look at it. You know, this one, it's got some surface rust. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's a little crusty underneath. You can see the exhaust manifold kind of through there. You can see the shocks set up, coil on spring, and then you can look at the frame itself. So one thing to look for, very common on a lot of northern cars, to see that outer coating kind of flaking a little bit, kind of looking a little rough. And the pinch weld there, that's pretty normal, nothing to be super scared of. But really, you just want to make sure that, you know, the vehicle's not going to rust out. And, you know, like here I just identified, you know, this is some bare metal here, and maybe we can get in there with like a little bit of spray paint or a little bit of something just to cover it up and kind of keep it from further deteriorating over time. A lot of times when you see these Toyota trucks in particular, there's some specific spots on the frame you really want to look at. So that's a big thing. They tend not to leak. They tend to run really well. They tend to be easy to drive. And they tend to have, outside of a handful of things, some pretty affordable parts. The other thing you always got to watch for in an older, particularly 4x4 vehicle, this is a 4x4 vehicle, beyond just the basic maintenance, the 4.7 motor in this, that's also in the GX 470, does require a timing belt. It is, as I understand, I recall, a light interference motor, which means if it snaps while you're driving, it's a really bad time. Thankfully, the previous owner has already done that for us and gone through and replaced that, and had some receipts for it, which is always nice to see. So the other thing that I'll mention beyond frame rust, timing belt, regular maintenance that you do want to watch for on these is just condition of the four-wheel drive system. And one thing I'll mention, these are actuator-based four-wheel drive systems. So when you jump in the vehicle here, you'll notice that we have a two-wheel drive, 4 high, and then a 4 low button. 4 low, I believe you can only go into when you're already in 4 high and in neutral. This is a true four-wheel drive system in the sense that you can get lockup, and you really don't want to be going around corners and stuff like that. So I always recommend to people, when you go test drive or go look for one of these, make absolutely certain that it comes in and out of four-wheel drive and that light isn't flashing all the time and you're having errors. AC's pretty reliable, the radio, everything else, all the electronics inside these things tends to be very reliable. What you have to really watch for is this, because the actuator for four-wheel drive on these cars is very, very expensive. The only other thing that's kind of specific to Tundras, and this one definitely has it because it's a little older, is when you fire it up, sometimes you'll hear like a ticking, and especially under power. And these cars are notorious for cracking exhaust manifolds. It's pretty quiet right now. I love it. It fires up, particularly on cold start, because I was running it a few minutes ago. When it's on cold start, you'll hear like a ticking or kind of a rumbling sound or whatever else. So you just got to make sure everything works inside. You can hear that ticking, not a big deal, not the end of the world. And hey, one of the other fun quirks of this vehicle, you guys get a kick out of this, is you get a bench seat, which is just fantastic. It's just so cool. You never see this stuff anymore. Modern trucks have gone to these big consoles and they're now like a Cadillac. So it's very fun. The previous owner actually inherited this car from his dad, and he was not a young guy himself, which is pretty interesting. He had both sets of keys. All the original owner's manuals are in the glove box. He kind of gave us all of it. So it needs a few odds and ends, but overall, I think it's a really cool vehicle, and I think you guys will appreciate watching, you know, kind of the upkeep on an older Toyota truck. So my goal would be just to clean it up as best we can, shine it up as best we can, fill some of the stone chips on the hood, maybe even see about some PDR work. That's always pretty cool. Maybe a PDR can at least make the panels square, touch that spot up with a little bit of paint. One other thing I noticed just before we log off here is when you get up on the roof, she's got some sunburn on the roof, and you can see this is, you know, the clear coat has failed. That's actually the clear coat coming off on my fingertips here. Very, very common. Remember how I mentioned the passenger side was parked in the sun? Look where the damage is the worst. So what I'll probably do in this scenario is actually you can get some really good two-part spray can clear coat. This is not an area of the vehicle you see very much of. The paint underneath appears to still be intact. So what I would do in this case is I would wet sand this down probably to about 1,000 grit, just to get all the junk and gunk. And look at, here's like some pine sap that's on the roof that's just stuck. So, you know, get all that off, clean it, wash it really well, even clay bar it to try to peel some stuff off with some old pieces of clay that I don't care much about. Then come back through, wet sand it, and then just spray this with a spray clear, can of spray clear on the roof, which is a two-part urethane-based clear. So it probably 2 cans, runs about $40. This will look not perfect, but it will certainly look better than sunburn. So a few odds and ends. I think probably all in we'll probably spend, now that we've bought it, purchase price in a vehicle like this, $5,000 to $8,500, depending on condition, mileage. Sometimes I've seen them as high as 12 or 13 if they're really, really low miles. I saw one on Facebook Marketplace a few weeks ago for $1,800 that was getting parted out. So kind of all over the place. This one's no accidents. It's got a good maintenance history, had a good owner, needs a few odds and ends, but overall it's in pretty decent shape. And I'm really looking forward to doing a drive video of it, you know, kind of just tinkering with it here in the garage. And you know, when you have stuff like this and stuff like this that's really well sorted and all put together, and you know, yeah, you're doing regular maintenance, oil changes, a few odds and ends here and there, you jump to this. This is actually a little bit more of a project and something you can spend some time on, and I feel like I got a really good price on it. I feel like I can do a little bit of work to it to kind of shine it up, clean it up, really make it look nice, and go from there. So this is going to be a little saga of our 2004 Toyota Tundra. You know, appreciate you guys tuning in. Happy to answer any questions. Happy to send you any videos. You know, post more videos, share more content. I think this is a kind of a cool opportunity to see what, you know, a hobbyist like myself, I don't work in the auto industry, can do to sort of clean up an older vehicle and really make it look like $1 million and make it run and drive and take it safely on my long distance commute and all that good stuff. So thanks for tuning in. Would appreciate you guys liking and subscribing when you get a chance.